Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here with me, Medium Bonnie Page. I came on today to answer a question that a viewer sent in that I loved. Her name's Bethany. And Bethany asked me if loved ones often appear more at their own funerals or at weddings and celebrations after they've passed. Where are my loved ones showing up the most after they pass? And I thought about it for a little bit because I have a view on both of those things. And I have some personal stories to tell you that I hope that they resonate with you because they're true stories. So last night I went to bed thinking about this question that Bethany had sent in, and Spirit started showing me things in the night that I had actually witnessed through the years. And I'm going to start with, is a loved one at their own wake or funeral? And I personally have seen loved ones and friends at their own wakes and at their own funerals. So I'll start with, let's see, my high school friend passed away from cancer, and she was still young. This was probably about 20 years ago now. And I hadn't seen her for a long time, but I ended up going to the wake, and there was a bunch of other high school friends. And there sat her very best friend that had never left her side. And I went up to pay my respects in front of the casket or whatever, and I bent down and I could hear Cindy say to me, "You need to tell," it was another friend, "that I am okay." Now this was her best friend. And she said, "You need to tell her I'm okay now." And I said, "Okay, you got it. Tell her there's no more pain. To be happy for me, there's no more pain." And so I think there was a few other words, but I chatted with her for a moment, and then I got up and I went to like where the pews are. And I told her best friend later that night that I had talked to her and that she really needed her to know those words, that she was okay. And so I feel like that brought a lot of relief. Oh, Cindy made it to heaven. The next night, my friend from high school came to me in my third eye, and she showed me a beautiful white door. And she had her hand on the knob of the door, and it was just beautiful. And she's like, "I made it. I made it. I needed to show you." And I would have liked it if she showed me inside, but she showed me that she was for what she was given to me as I made it to this beautiful place called heaven, and this is the door, and I'm going inside. And so it was just a beautiful kind of vision to see. Oh man. And she looked just like we all did in high school. She was young again. She was thin and healthy and happy, and just the way I remembered graduating with her. And so does that happen when we go to heaven? Yes, because your body goes back to where you were feeling the most comfortable. So Spirit showed me that last night. It's funny, I feel like I had kind of visitations of my guide showing me things that I had seen for myself. Because really, if I'm going to teach other people, I'm going to teach you what I have seen with my own eyes, with my third eyes. I'm going to be there to tell you the truth. And so I love it when Spirit shows me things, though, because I can tell you without a doubt that these things happen. One other time, I went to my aunt's funeral, and we were in a very big, large church. And my aunt was one of 10 siblings. And one of the siblings, a little girl, had passed when she was just 2 weeks old because she had measles that didn't come out, which freaked my mom. I've had measles 3 times. And my mom would make sure that my measles came out. But one of 10 children. And while we were all there and they were bringing in the casket, I, with my own eyes wide open, could see 10, all the siblings, standing hand in hand with each other. And I'm getting goosebumps now as I say it. I counted like this really fast. How many of them are up there? So 10. Even that little baby girl had grown in heaven, and she was actually standing with her siblings up on the altar, and they were standing hand in hand. And it was such a beautiful thing that they were letting me know that even in life, some of these siblings did not get along, and some got along beautiful, right? But some did not. But in heaven, now remember this, guys, because siblings are here to teach us some lessons, right? In heaven, these 10 siblings were standing hand in hand, showing me that once again, they were all together. And I just thought that was the most beautifulest thing that I've ever saw. And so I feel so privileged when my guides, my angels, they show me these things because I thought it was beautiful. The third encounter, and there's more, but I'm just going to tell you 3, I think. I went to a friend's wake who had passed, and we were still like in our 40s, and he was shoveling and he passed of a heart attack. So it was so sudden and unexpected. And we're going through the line, and then you bend down and you're going to say a prayer, and I kind of closed my eyes and I just said, Charlie, are you here? Because, you know, this was 20 years ago and I was still learning. So I was like, Charlie, are you here? And he came right up to me, his face. And he was very, very tall and I'm very short. So he used to call me his daughter. And he said, my daughter, I am here. And I was so happy inside. And I went, Charlie. And I puckered up. I don't know if anybody even saw this, but he gave me a kiss on my lips from heaven. Mwah. I went, oh, Charlie, I love you. Such a good friend, such a beautiful person, so a man of faith. I had never done that before, but I got a kiss from heaven, and then I had to get up, you know, because everybody else was waiting. I don't know who saw what. They could have been seeing this. I didn't care. And then I had to go through the line, and I was so excited that I got to see him and that I had that encounter, and he told me he was okay. That everybody was so sad, but I was so happy inside because I've just gotten to see my friend. But so are they at their own wakes and their own funerals? Yes. But they're not there just to see their body or to kind of like, hey, what happened, and you know, why am I there instead of here now? That's not why they're there. They are very much there because they want to comfort us. They want to bring their energy over to their wife or their child or their loved one and just hope that you can feel that energy and that you can feel that peace inside you, that to give you a moment's comfort, just a moment's comfort. That's why they're there. They just want to alleviate you from a little bit of the pain that you're feeling. And they love hearing the stories about them and the memories, and all their loved ones are gathered. I'm just hearing from Spirit now, where else would we be? So the rest of the question that Bethany sent in was, are they, after they passed, are they still at our weddings? Are they still at our celebrations? Do they know what's going on in our lives? And I can tell you without a doubt, and I mostly get this from the spirit world, right? Because I would have a client and she'll say, does my father know what's been happening since he's passed? And a dad will say, well, I was at her wedding. And I'll be like, so you have been married since your father passed? And a client will say yes. And then I'll send a thought up to the dad because I'm nosy too and I want to see, show me the wedding dress. And they'll go, oh, it was big and fancy, or it was this, or they'll start giving me details of the wedding. And that's called evidence. And I give that evidence because that daughter sitting in front of me knows that her dad is at that wedding without a doubt. Yes, that is what my dress looked like. Yes, we had so many people. Yes, I carried something, borrowed. And yes, there was a table with his picture on it. And what does that do? What does that do when you give your clients evidence? That shows them that without a doubt, because how would I know? I'm not invited to the wedding, right? There's no way I would know this, is that their dad was right there walking them down the aisle. And so that's why an evidential medium will say, well, give me some evidence so I can tell them. Because we want you to know in your heart that your dad was with you at your graduation, or your mom. I'm just using dad, but your loved ones are right there to celebrate all of your joys with you. The small ones, the big ones, they're there when you need them, when you need comforting, but they're there when you're celebrating too. So, weddings have a lot of energy, right? High vibrational energy, and it makes it really easy for spirits to draw close when there's a lot of energy. So, and I can relate to that because when I do galleries, I'm running around with a microphone and I'm giving readings to different people. The energy is so strong because can you imagine how many spirits come down to watch the gallery because their loved ones are at the gallery and they already know who's going to come through. I don't. I'm not picking. I go, who's next? Who's next? That's all I do, guys. So there's no course, I'm going to mess up a word, but there's no like calling to, hey, I want that person's dad, that person's mom, that person's friend. They know who's coming through. I just close my eyes for a second and the next person comes. That's how me and Spirit have it worked out, because I don't want to be to blame for loved ones that don't make it through by the time the gallery is over, right? Because everybody's loved ones want to come through and give you a message that's going to heal your soul. So love is a permanent bond, and they are only a thought away. So are your loved ones more at weddings or funerals? They're both. They're both. I asked my cousin that on the phone today, and I said, so do you think loved ones come to funerals more or weddings? And she thought, and she went, both. And she's totally right. So I hope that this has helped you, all of you. And Bethany, thank you for sending in the question. And I hope next time you're having a celebration that you get that feeling that your loved one's with you. You know, maybe a particular song comes on and you're like, oh, that was my mom's song. Wow, I didn't ask for that to play. Or maybe you feel like you're being wrapped in this beautiful, beautiful, comforting hug. And for a moment, you're like, oh, what is that? That's your loved ones giving you a hug. So thank you so much for joining me today. Spirit loves you so much. The divine loves you. God, Jesus, and the angels love you. I love you. And check out my book that's on Amazon, Ask the Psychic Medium. God asked, I listened. It's the story of how I got started with my business, Messages from Heaven. So I hope to see you all soon. Have a beautiful day. And thank you for joining me. Bye, y'all. See, now I sound Southern.